Most people try to change their lives by making big, dramatic decisions. They set massive goals. They declare new beginnings. They push hard for a week or two, and then stop. The Japanese never did it that way. Kaizen, the Japanese philosophy of continuous small improvement, was the system behind Japan's post-war economic recovery. It turned struggling factories into world-class operations, and the same principles, applied personally, can quietly build a level of discipline that willpower alone never could. Not through intensity, through consistency. Here are 7 Kaizen habits that build unbreakable discipline. So slowly you almost don't notice until you've already changed. Habit 1. The 1% rule. Kaizen doesn't ask you to be twice as good tomorrow. It asks you to be 1% better. That sounds laughably small. But compounded over a year, 1% better every day becomes 37 times better. The math is uncomfortable. The average person overestimates what they can do in a week and massively underestimates what happens when they improve a little, consistently, for a year. Stop asking, how do I make a big change? Start asking, what is the smallest improvement I can make today? Habit 2. The 2-minute start. The biggest lie about discipline is that you need to feel ready. You don't. Kaizen teaches that action creates motivation, not the other way around. The solution to resistance is not to push harder against it. It's to make the starting action so small that resistance has nothing to grab onto. If you can't motivate yourself to exercise, don't commit to an hour. Commit to putting on your shoes. If you can't start writing, don't commit to a page. Commit to 1 sentence. 2 minutes. That's the door. Once you're through it, momentum does the rest. Habit 3. Ask small questions. The brain treats big questions like threats. How do I completely transform my life? Triggers, overwhelm, and shut down. Kaizen teaches to ask small questions instead. Questions so gentle they bypass the brain's fear response. Not how do I fix everything, but what is one small thing I could improve today? Not how do I get fit, but what is one food choice I could make better at lunch? Small questions generate calm, creative answers. Big questions generate paralysis. The Japanese understood this. They built the world's most efficient systems, one small question at a time. Habit 4. One thing at a time. The modern world has convinced people that multitasking is a skill. It is not. It is a myth and a costly one. Kaizen demands singular focus. When you divide your attention, you divide the quality of everything you produce. When you give one thing your full attention, you give it something most people never experience: the full force of an uninterrupted mind. Pick one task, remove everything else. Work until it is done. Repeat. Habit 5. Design your environment. Discipline is not a character trait. It is a design problem. The most disciplined people in the world aren't fighting their environment. They've arranged it, so the right behavior is the easiest behavior. Kaizen calls this visual control, making the right choice obvious and the wrong choice inconvenient. Want to eat better? Put the fruit on the counter and the junk in a hard-to-reach cupboard. Want to read more? Put the book on the pillow. Put the phone in another room. Stop fighting yourself. Change the game instead. Habit 6. Hansei, daily reflection. In Japanese corporate culture, Hansei is a mandatory practice. After any project, whether it succeeded or failed, teams stop, reflect honestly, and identify what could be improved. It is not self-criticism. It is self-diagnosis. Most people only reflect when things go badly. Kaizen practitioners reflect always, 5 minutes at the end of each day. 3 questions. What went well today? What didn't go as planned? What will I do differently tomorrow? Not to feel bad about the past. To make the next day 1% better. Habit 7. Process over outcome. Stop measuring success by outcomes. Measure it by process. You cannot fully control whether you win the race. You can fully control whether you train today. You cannot control whether the business succeeds immediately. You can control whether you showed up and did the work. Kaizen says, fall in love with the process. The outcomes will come. As a consequence, not a goal. The person who runs every day, regardless of results, will inevitably become fitter than the person who pushes hard when motivated and stops when they're not. 7 habits, 1 philosophy. Kaizen doesn't promise dramatic transformation. It promises something harder to find and more durable. Quiet, consistent progress that compounds until the results become undeniable. Big change is fragile. Small change, repeated, is permanent. The question is not whether you can change. The question is whether you are willing to start small enough to make change inevitable. Start with 1%. That's all it takes.